Hey guys, so we're going to continue talking about square roots, okay? But we're going to talk about goal number 2, and that is I can evaluate expressions and equations involving square roots. But before we get to equations and expressions, we're going to finish the notes from yesterday. So let's just look at this one. The area of a square is shown below, okay? Find the side length. So to find the side length, that is going to be the square root of the area. So you're going to take the square root of 25 and you're going to get 5 inches squared. Okay? And that's each side length. So now it's asking you to find the perimeter. Okay? To find the perimeter, you're just going to add up all the sides. So it's 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5. Okay, and that is going to give you 20 inches. Okay. And that is going to be your answer. Okay. So the next thing we're going to talk about is evaluating expressions. Okay, and to evaluate, you're just going to solve. Okay, so 5 times the square root of 36 plus 7. So anytime you have a number right beside a square root, you're going to multiply. But before we multiply, we have to find the square root of 36. What times what will give you 36? And that is 6. Use your order of operations, so you're going to multiply. 5 times 6 is going to give you 30. And finally, 30 plus 7 is going to give you 37. Okay? So keep your order of operations in your mind. So let's look at this one. Okay, I have 1/4 plus. So anytime you have a fraction, you want to see if you can simplify that farther. What's 18 divided by 2? 9. Square root of 9. Okay, and what is the square root of 9? 3. So you're going to replace this whole thing with 3 because we got rid of the square roots. So now 1/4 plus 3, in case you have forgotten, okay, when you add a fraction and a number, you need like common denominators. So I need this denominator to be 4, so I have to multiply my numerator by 4. So 3 times 4 is 12. Okay, 12 over 4, and now I can add. So that's 13 over 4, so my answer is going to be 13 over 4. Okay, and that is my answer. Okay, and then Z, again, order of operations said you do the parentheses, what's inside the parentheses first. So what times what will give you 81, and that is 9. Okay, then bring down the square, minus 5. 9 times 9 is 81, minus 5, and that's going to give you 76. Okay, again, you want to use the order of operations. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Okay. So try doing these two on your own. Pause the video, work them out, and then come back and see if you got them correctly. Okay, welcome back. So let's look at D. Okay, so it's 12 minus 3 times the square root of 25. So whatever this is, you're going to multiply by 3. But first we have to figure out what this is. So what times what would give you 25? And that is 5. 5 times 5 is 25. Order of operations says you multiply first. So 3 times 5 is going to give you 15. 12 minus 15 is going to give you negative 3. And that is your answer. Okay. Come over to E. So I have 15 minus. Okay. Again, parentheses first. The square root of 4. What times what is 4? 2. Bring down my square. Okay. 2 times 2 is 4. 15 minus 4 is going to give you 11. And that is my answer. Okay. So again, you're just using the order of operations and you're just solving expressions. Okay. So I want you to go ahead and pause the video. We're going to be doing what we've been doing the past 2 weeks. Okay, on another sheet of paper, you're going to complete these. Today, you're going to have a total of 10 problems, okay, that you're going to take a picture of, and you're going to submit to me through Canvas. So put these on another sheet of paper, and you're going to have a total of 10, but these are the first 5. So pause it, then come back, and we will finish up the lesson. Welcome back. So example 6. Solving equations using square roots. Okay? So now we're talking about equations. So now we're having to do the inverse operations. Okay? So like the inverse operation of subtraction would be addition. The inverse operation of multiplication is going to be division. The inverse operation of squaring a number will be taking the square root. Okay? So let's look at A. Okay? You always take square roots when solving equations. So if I have x squared, okay, we're solving for x. We're not solving for what x squared is. So to get x completely by itself, we're going to need to do the inverse operation of squaring, which is taking the square root. So I'm going to take the square root of this side. But if I take the square root of this side, I also have to take the square root of this side. Okay? So over here, I'm left with x. And what times what will give you 81? And that is plus or minus 9. So this time we're solving equations, okay? So we're trying to find the value that would make this equation true. Well, there's 2 values that would make it true. It would be when x equals negative 9, because negative 9 times negative 9 gives you a positive 81. And it's going to be a positive 9, okay? So keep that in mind when you're solving equations, okay, that you have plus, and you also have the negative 2. But sometimes it's not going to be that straightforward. Sometimes it's going to be a 2-step or even a 3-step, okay? And you want to take the square root, you want to let that be the last thing you do, okay? So looking over here, what's standing in the way from that A being completely by itself on this side of the equation? Yeah, the 3, and what else? The square. Okay, but remember how I told you, taking the square root needs to be the last thing. So how do I take care of this? How do I move this to the other side? What's the inverse of multiplication? Division. So I'm going to divide both sides by 3. So I'm left with a squared, okay, equals, what's 48 divided by 3? And that's going to give me 16. So now, is a by itself? No. So I have to do the inverse of squaring a number, and that is taking the square root. So a is going to give me plus and minus 4. Okay. So now I want you to try doing these 3 problems on your own. Go ahead and pause the video and press play when you're ready for me to continue. Okay, welcome back. Okay, so let's look at C. Okay, C, there's nothing left to do but to take the square root of both sides. So K is going to equal plus or minus 13. Okay. D, again, the 7's in the way and the square is in the way, but we want to do the square. We want to take care of that part last. So inverse of multiplication is division. So divide both sides by 7. 175 divided by 7 is going to give me 25. Now I'm going to do inverse to get n by itself. And you have to do both sides. So I have n equals plus or minus 5. Okay. So let's go to E. So what is standing in the way from B being completely by itself? Well, the 6, the 2, and the 4. Okay. So first thing I want to do is I want to do the inverse of negative 6, which is add 6 to both sides. And that would be 196. And now I'm going to divide by 4. So I'm left with b squared. 196 divided by 4 is going to be 49. And finally, take the square root. And I have b equals plus or minus 7. And that is my answer. Okay? So these are your last set of problems. Okay, so go ahead and complete these on that sheet of paper that you're going to turn into me through Canvas. If you have any questions at all, please let me know. Join my Google Meets. Okay, your Google Meets is every Monday and Thursday from 1:20 to 1:45. Okay, and I always post that link underneath the Google Links tab. Okay, so please let me know if you have any questions at all. I would love to help you, and I hope you all have a good day.